You're welcome once again to Joel Political Blog. Today we'll be discussing a mind-blowing, um, let's say, a report by the Nigerian Bureau for Statistics, which was released a few days ago.
Talk about the spate of insecurity in Nigeria, especially with the National Bureau of Statistics now revealing that Nigerians paid about 2.2 trillion naira as ransoms between May of 2023 and April this year. This amount, the NBS says, was paid by households affected by kidnapping incidents, highlighting the growing threat posed by criminal activities in the country.
Among the reports or data released for 2024, one of the mind-blowing data that we saw was that in 12 months, Nigerians paid 2.23 trillion naira. You heard that again. 2.2 trillion naira to kidnappers in 12 months. 2.2 trillion naira in 12 months paid to kidnappers as ransom by Nigerians. What does this tell you? It simply tells you something is fundamentally wrong with Nigeria. Now, to do a breakdown, it says the Northwest, the total amount of money paid as ransom to kidnappers, 1.17 trillion naira. The Northeast is around 166 billion naira. In the North Central is 469 billion. In Southwest, 248 billion naira. In the Southeast, over 469 billion. And in the South, another 469 billion paid to kidnappers in 12 months as ransom for release. Now, this is really mind-boggling. It simply tells you that Nigeria is in a state of emergency, that Nigeria, do we describe Nigeria now as a failed state? Because imagine non-state actors generating so much of this kind of money within the last 12 months from Nigerians who have entered into a social contract with the ruling class to protect them, because the constitution says that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary responsibility of government. So it simply means that the government of the day, or the government in Nigeria over the years, have failed to fulfill that primary reason why there is a government in the first place: security and welfare of the people. Let's not even talk about poverty that is ravaging most Nigerians. Now we have more or less no middle class. Our focus is on the security. 2.2 trillion. Even some states in Nigeria don't even have that kind of money for as budget for the whole fiscal year. And here you have kidnappers, bandits, terrorists, kidnappers having, raking in. That means crime is now a very lucrative business in Nigeria. That's just what it simply means. That crime is now a very highly lucrative business in Nigeria. Then what happens to the security in Nigeria? Sometimes I don't even blame the security agents, because especially the police, because monies are not appropriated. You see, find policemen still buying uniform, motivation is not there. Even when policemen die in the line of duty, security operatives die in the line of duty, they are not immortalized. Their family do not even get collect their pension until after several years. They have to shout about it. The motivation is not there. That's why these people they just don't even want to die for the country. Because otherwise, how do you explain 2.2 trillion ransom paid to kidnappers in 12 months? In 12 months alone, just one calendar year. This is really serious. This is really serious. And then just Yesterday, the president also submitted a budget to National Assembly, and if you look at the breakdown, monies are appropriated for things that will not even benefit the common man. How do you explain over 15 billion naira for cars, 5.4 billion naira to renovate the Aso Rock Villa? Let's forget, before the present government came in, the outgoing government gave a contract close to 40 billion to renovate the villa, to change furniture, to change everything. Now, in the current budget, we're seeing another 5.4 billion being appropriated to renovate the villa when people don't even have houses to stay. There's so much going on. The security, the police is not well funded. No kit, no equipment to combat crime and criminality in the nooks and crannies. So many ungoverned spaces in Nigeria that has made insecurity to thrive this much. You see, uh, this is really, because when you come to think of it, within the last 10 years or thereabout, the defense budget, so much has been budgeted for defense, all in the bid to fight crime, criminality, banditry, terrorism, the Northeast, the South, or thereabout. But it simply means, for all the billions of dollars that have been appropriated over the years for defense, does it mean all these monies end up in the pocket of the service chiefs? Because that's what it means. If in 12 calendar months that Nigerians will feel so helpless and then pay for over 2.2 trillion for ransom, it simply means that the security, there's absolute law breakdown of law and order in Nigeria. That's just what it means. Because I still find it difficult to understand. Now this explains why, when the period we had the one of the collapse of episodes of the collapse of the national grid, we heard the minister saying, "Oh, due to insecurity, they are not able to go to where this Zungeru and where these dams are to effect maintenance and all of that." So even the government is telling you that the functionality of government is hampered by insecurity. Talk more of the average citizen walking on the street. A lot is happening in Nigeria, but 2.2 trillion as ransom, the security pays in Nigeria. That means, you know, kidnapping is now a brisk business, very lucrative. Does it mean that this? Another question I want to ask: does it mean that is kidnapping in Nigeria an organized crime? Because, of course, those who perpetrate or who are involved in kidnapping must have backings from constituted authority. Otherwise, they wouldn't have recorded this amount of success. I keep thinking about it. Otherwise, I don't think they would record this amount of success if there are no state, agent collaboration in this. That means it's more like an organized crime, because for it to generate this much, because these monies are given, a lot of things, and these kidnappers make calls cannot be traced. But if you just criticize the government, you're picked up the next minute. If you talk something against the government, you're picked up the next minute. But we cannot trace these people. And then you talk about NIN, phone calls, the DSS. What are they doing? This is really, this is an embarrassment, because the government is talking about looking for foreign investors. But one of the indices that ensures that investors come into a country is the level of security aside the population. So if at the end of the day we have so much of this insecurity, what kind of investors, how many investors want to come to a country where the insecurity is at this level, that insecurity even generates even more money, as even some state government, some state actors, some public enterprise, some private enterprise, even illicit crime of kidnapping and the red generates even more income than that. So how many investors do you want to see in your country when you have these sort of things happening in your country? I think the president and those charged with the responsibility of managing the affairs of Nigeria need to take this into account, because this is really embarrassing. And so, does it mean that all the times that mass kidnapping will be done in Kaduna and other parts of the country, and then the Office of National Security Advisor will say, "Oh, we have rescued the victims. Nothing was paid." Does it mean that they paid money at the, because how did they arrive at this figure? I'm not. Come to think of it, these are even documented evidences of ransom paid. How about those paid without anyone knowing about it? People did not even report to the authorities, and then they just made the payment back end, and they collect their family and friends, and because it's really it's really surprising. Maybe I think I need to hear from you. What do you think is the problem? You can just drop a comment, and please like and share this video, and please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So let's discuss the way forward for Nigeria, given this mind blowing revelations about the things that are happening in Nigeria. I hope to hear from you soon. And once again, don't forget to like, share, and comment on this video. Thank you.